this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Clobberin Times Comic Book Roundtable. I'm your host, Stone Loki. We will get a new intro very soon, I promise. I'm working on it. I want to try and find something that we're not going to get flagged for every single time I play it. But greetings, everyone. What a Wednesday. What a crazy day. Hump Day is almost over. And we're going to talk comic books. And holy crap, do we have a lot to talk about considering the trailer we got that landed. And of course, I know what Mark D's first thought was because it was my first thought. And it was Dave Bob's first thought is, oh God, what would Clobby think about this trailer?
Well, he said no one was allowed to make and hi everyone. He said no one was allowed to make a FF movie unless he was in charge of it. So
that's right. That's right. So let me welcome Classic Comics. How are you doing, brother?
Doing okay, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Let me welcome Mark D with the C. How are you doing, bro?
Very good, very good. Yep, good to see everyone. Yep, held everyone in the chat.
Good evening, everybody. We got Penny, we got Adega, we got FKHC 2005. We've got It's Pat's. Good evening, Pat. We've got Apollome's Minion. Good evening. I hope Puppers is doing well. And everything's good. Let's see, Penny. We've got Claude Sailing here in chat. What is up, brother? Sure you're thinking exactly what we were thinking. Holy crap. What do you think about this? Oh, we've got Snortapoops Cuber, my favorite polar bear on YouTube. Good evening, my friend. Thank you, everybody that's here, everybody that's hanging out with us tonight. And we've got Tuckerverse, who just popped in, says, hail, Loki, hail, Tuckerverse. Good to see you, my friend. It's good to see all you guys. So let's talk about, give me 1 second. We are not going to play the trailer because Lord knows they will come after us with a vengeance. But
you can do stills like that. I think that's what I always do. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have like any problem with, I mean, any of this. It seems very wholesome, unless somehow they're just wanting us to believe that. That's not the way things are. It seems like a period piece. So, the way they talk about, oh, well, we're going to have dinner at 7, and we have dinner at 7 every day. And um,
Yeah, I remember watching and thinking, well, I hope there's no big crisis threatening the world at 7 on
right.
Sundays, because then what are you going to do?
But we do get a very modern Baxter building, not the old style, which is okay too. I guess
Yeah,
retro.
yeah,
We don't get that original, but that's okay. Um, but yeah, talking, this is Clobberin Times Roundtable here, but yeah, he always did want it set in the '60s as a retro piece, and I'm speculating they could have it where at the end of the movie they're stuck in the negative zone and they come to the present MCU, or maybe it's an alternative universe, but they're definitely going to pull them in the MCU somehow.
yeah. It's going to be
It's
something like that.
it's going to be something like that where they're stuck in an alternative dimension, the microverse, negative zone. Well, in the MCU, what do they call it? They can't call it the microverse because Hasbro's got the rights to that, but it's something else. But at least they're doing that retro look. I still don't like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Not that he's a bad actor, he just doesn't it just doesn't look like him from the comics. So
He's not Reed.
yeah,
I mean, he's just, and I need more. I need more than just a trailer. If Star Wars taught me anything, it's that you could have a great trailer and the movie can be absolute trash. So we need more. We need more of this. There are already rumors flying around. I don't know if you guys have heard this yet. The biggest rumor floating around right now, and I say floating because it's kind of here, there, everywhere, is that after RDJ comes back as Doctor Doom and they deal with that Reed's going to be the next Doctor Doom.
oh god,
And that,
not that storyline.
yeah, that Sue's going to be the leader of the Fantastic Four, and She-Hulk is going to be the fourth, is going to get the fourth slot, and they're going to have to deal with Reed as Doctor Doom. I don't know how much truth there is in that, but I've heard it from multiple people. Maybe they're just guessing. Maybe they looked at all the storylines and said, what is the worst one? Oh, it's that one? Hey, this is what they're going to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that'll happen, but I mean, we can't rule it out. At this point, who knows what they might do?
Well, you're getting Shia LaBeouf as the Silver Surfette, right? Which is
Right.
that's the
Yeah.
one thing that really has me angry. I mean, as much as I'm a longtime FF, I mean, you guys know from my avatar, and obviously that's my, Ben Grimm favorite character, and at least they got his look right. It looks pretty good. But why would they do the female? Well, I know why they would do the female Silver Surfer, but that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just
What do you think about this onesie they
they
have
do
him
that
in?
to save money.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's a cost-saving measure, so they don't have to CGI his whole thing. And actually, with some of those set photos that came out, there's they actually, I mean, there's like a photo of someone, I don't know if it's a stunt double or what, but it's got, Ben's head, but it's not CGI. It's obviously like some kind of prop or prosthetic. And I'm guessing probably there will be some scenes where he's in the background or something, and it's actually just, and he's not talking or moving, and it's just a rubber head or something like that, maybe.
why would they do that? Considering, I mean, this is Disney. They've got all the money they need to make this movie. Why would they go cost cutting when, I mean, we got a full blown thing back in what, 2004? Was it 2004 when the Fantastic Four, the first movie, came out? Was it
2004,
before that?
2005, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yep.
So we had a full thing that didn't
was
have a
that was
onesie.
makeup. That was makeup. Yep. Though that was no CGI for Ben, but it could also be like I know from watching movies. Like I remember our favorite character Jar Jar Binks, Ahmad Best was in all the scenes, and he wore like a Jar Jar Binks headpiece,
Yeah.
so the actors knew where the eye should go to. So they could have had the actor just wearing this headpiece just so that it shows where to direct your eyes and to help them when they
Yeah.
do the CGI. but at least they've got the brow on the head finally, because as much as I like Michael Chiklis, we're getting that look, and it looks a little strange. But I think once you watch the movie, hopefully it'll settle down. It looks like a cartoon, animated, but that's just the nature of CGI. Herbie's obviously all CGI too, but
I think
that's
the
really the only way we
basic.
can do them.
I mean, I think the basic look for him is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like
Can we say hi
they're
really quick to Lady Mist? Thank you for being here, Lady Mist. Shit Farmer. If I missed you, give me a holler in chat. But I think I got everybody. Marcus Felix is here. Marcus Felix sent a $5 super chat. Said firewood and arrows for Valhalla. Thank you, brother. Keep the fires burning bright. Keep those arrows strong. I don't know if they're gonna bounce off things bubbly little air pocketed body here or not.
he also should be a little bigger. I think
He should be a lot bigger.
yeah.
I
Just at least be around 6 feet tall. But Ben is not as big as the Hulk. But I do like the actor. The only problem is his voice is should be more gravelly. They should have affected his voice a little bit, because
they got to do
would
something
change
about that.
I mean, he's a good actor, but
I can't see him yelling "It's Clobberin time" and it working with his voice. They hopefully that's a fairly simple thing to fix. So hopefully they'll hear what people are saying and they'll fix that. But who knows? They may just say screw them.
yeah. Or a lot of times the actors want their voice so they're recognized too, right? So he was in I'm forgetting the actor's name, but he was in that cooking movie, The Bear, or show, and he's really good in it. He's a great actor, and he's got that feistiness to Ben. He probably doesn't look like I would imagine Ben, obviously, from the comic. He'd be like the big man on campus. As Ben Grimm reads the scientist, obviously the nerd geek, but
Right.
he does have that fire in his acting ability. But yeah, the voice is offsetting when you hear that big, because he's a big gravelly rock monster, and he wouldn't have that.
Yeah,
his voice is a little high pitched, unfortunately.
We'll put a little garlic in there and some oregano. We'll make it really pop. And I was like, wow, that is so not the thing.
Not Ben.
Yeah,
that's
not his
Ben.
voice. Not his voice. Yeah. Yeah, just look at the cartoons, right? You watch the Ben's voice in the cartoons; they nail it, right? It's it's a much deeper, deeper voice. So,
is it? To me, that's a big failing of you. You don't care about the little things. You don't care about things that matter. You don't care about even making the character kind of right. What do you care about? You just care that, oh well, I'm getting to make this movie my way, because if that's all there is. I mean, that makes me even more just not want to go see it in the first place. Oh, so it's your Fantastic Four, it's not the Fantastic Four. Okay.
Well, I think I think a lot of these Hollywood types, they just come at the material with the attitude that what they're doing is going to improve it and fix it. It's like, this is fine, but it'll be better if we do this, and if that, and they just wind up screwing it up more often than not.
Sagadorf 9 says they screw up a cup of coffee. I have no faith.
Yeah, they don't deserve. They have not. They don't deserve any benefit of the doubt at this point.
It's been a pretty bad run lately, right? Who's going back to watch the Echo TV show again? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone going to watch Echo anytime soon?
Well, that's probably why they're trying to cut costs on this thing, is because they've lost so much damn money over the last couple of years.
I did like the interaction with the robot, but still, it's just like we said, we're kind of just like, okay, it's not,
shave the mustache. Reed never has a mustache like that. If anything, he has the beard, but that's when he's stuck on another planet or something. But save the mustache. It's not even a good mustache. Sorry, Pedro, but come on.
No, he should have the wings. Have the wings, but that's where it needs to. You got the wings. That's what makes you unique. The mustache is not going to make you unique. The mustache is going to be like, well, I'm Pedro Pascal, and I refuse to shave my mustache off of this role.
Yeah.
You'll be fine with it. It'll be all right.
He looks like he looks in just about every role, basically.
Well, they
Pat
did
says
get
he-
Vanessa Kirby right because it's she's named after Kirby. I hope there's a huge Kirby tribute in this film. We probably won't get it, but
Pat says
She-
he can't find She-Hulk on Disney Plus.
no, it's gone.
I mean, I have no problem with the way Sue looks. I mean, is it who I wish it was there? No, but it's definitely not Jessica Biel. I do like them
Wowzers.
getting suited up in astronaut gear,
Yep,
and I
and
hope
that does
that's
make
not just a
yeah, that does,
flashback.
but that does make sense for people are saying, "Oh, look at Elon Musk now and Bezos, making they're private companies with their own rockets now, so it's not so far fetched. Maybe in the 50s, you would, the 60s when this came out, when you would have said, "Oh, that's nuts," but not so far fetched anymore. So
Yeah,
it's a
that
great
rocket looked
origin.
really nice.
Yeah,
I love that rocket. I do. I love that rocket. That rocket looks cool. It looks,
Loki. Loki, did you see the private chat?
Oh, oh, dude, what is up? What's up? It didn't ding. I don't know why it didn't ding when you came in here. It's set
Yeah.
up to ding. So, what is up? 24/7 Fusion Media in the house. What is up, brother?
Maybe you stepped away.
It's possible,
he went to go look for pictures of Jessica Biel. Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, and the Silver Surfette isn't even like super sexy hot. If you had Sydney Sweeney as a Silver Surfette, I might have shut my mouth a little bit, maybe, which is a horrible toxic man thing to say. But it's
Well, we haven't even seen what she looks like yet. She could look nothing like the actress. I mean, they
That's
could
true.
just use her voice and have some kind of Hulk body to it. Yeah.
I mean, what I'm wondering could happen is, they come into our universe, and then there's a Silver Surfer. We get Norrin Rad in our universe. They're coming from an alternative universe, and they're going to continue the Galactus fight in the next movie. And we are getting real Galactus, not the Ultimate. So that was the big problem with. Fan Four Stick was horrible. I almost walked out of the movie theater, but they followed the Ultimate storyline, and we got the Galactus Cloud from Ultimates and the Origin from Ultimates. So
I hate that.
oh, so bad. So bad. Why did I buy all those comics? I have a problem. Hey, Claude is here.
What's up? What's up, Claude Parrish? I should have jumped in to drop my 2 cents about what the Authority Clobby would have thought. That's the way we started the show, dude. You're more than welcome to hop on, join. I can send you a link. That is the first thing I thought as soon as I saw the trailer was, I wonder what Clobby would think of this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he would have liked Ben, except for the voice. I'm guessing. But
Yeah, I think he would have liked the retro 60s thing, and he would have liked Ben's appearance. I think Johnny's okay. He probably would have been fine with that. I don't know. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
I know he didn't like Pedro Pascal because we talked about that.
Oh no, he did
But
not.
Claude knew Clobberin times for 40 plus years, so he would know him best. So, but yeah, I think he would always say, "If I'm not in charge of the FF movie, it doesn't count." And Claude was actually, from remembering correctly, when they were making Fan Four Stick, he made some deliveries. There was Mike that made some deliveries to the set. My memory is Garbaggio sometimes, but the people didn't even know, about any of the old Fantastic Four stories, and they want to hire all these directors that know nothing of what came before, and that's why these characters are so popular, because those stories in the comics are so good. You've got all the material. It's just you just need to translate it to the big screen without changing it, and they can't help but meddle with greatness. So,
Yeah, well, they
24,
see it
are
all.
you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what is up, brother? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm hanging
Good
in there,
deal.
but I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm sorry about last week. Just
You're good.
yeah.
You're good. I don't think we had a show last week, so
Well, then it was the week before that. Then that's
you're good, bro. You're good. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hopping on with us. We were just talking about this Fantastic Four trailer. Have you seen this?
You know what, man? I've watched it a few times, and when I saw it, to be honest, man, I'm just gonna just put it out there, man. Vanessa Kirby looks too old to be Sue Storm. She looks like she's already somebody's mom. Then you got Pedro Pascal. He looks nothing like Reed Richards. The thing is, we haven't even seen him stretch yet. We've seen everybody's fucking powers but his. So that lets me know that if you don't want to show this motherfucker stretching, then obviously he's probably looking like the dude off the first Fantastic Four.
Well, there are rumors that he's, after they do the RDJ shit, that
Right.
Pedro Pascal is going to be Doctor Doom. Sue will take over leadership of the event or the Fantastic Four, and they'll bring She-Hulk in to be the fourth member.
Sounds good to me. Shit. You know, but to be honest, it's like they got Johnny Storm, like him being like reckless or whatever the fuck. I kind of see that in him. It's just that the dude from Stranger Things seems like he's trying too hard, man. Like it's just not. It's like it just doesn't feel natural. And then it's him, dude. He's the biggest fucking bust. I mean, Pedro Pascal. I mean, he is what he is. But the other dude that's playing Ben and Grimm, and dude, he sounds like there's nothing. See, that's the thing, man. That's the problem. Is we seen Ben Grimm over the years. Everybody that's portrayed him gave him this rough voice, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
then all of a sudden,
it's clobbering times. Yeah.
So basically, that bullshit got thrown right out the window. So now he's soft. He's softer than a pillow now. Look, he's all hey,
Sounds like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, he's just, hey, come over here. Why don't you put your finger in my booty? I'll be all right. That's what. Yeah, that's what he sounds like, man. And then it's like, especially when he did that, I was like, yo, the fact that he got his middle finger and he's sucking on it, like it looks whack. It looks like never mind, man. I don't even want to tell you what it looked like, man. But
well, he's testing out the soup or the pasta or whatever the hell they're making.
They needed more garlic and all that shit. Yeah, but
needs a little bit more garlic.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
More garlic is always good.
I mean, dude, actually, the way you got this picture right here, man, if his hand and his finger don't look like two nuts in the cock, I don't know what, man. It just looks whack, man.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep
savage.
tonight. You ruined the scene for me.
Yeah, just like a rock cock. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
And the robot's just digging. Robot's just digging one.
Yeah, he's loving it. He's like, yeah, put that finger in your mouth.
And what a stupid face for Herbie with they put the reel to reel. I mean, it's cute and kitschy, but you want to use reel to reel in a modern robot.
Well, see, the thing is, man, they Robbie the Robot, if I remember correctly, he was created strictly for the cartoon, right?
No,
yeah, because the rights to Johnny were in limbo, so they couldn't use Johnny. It wasn't because kids were going to set themselves on fire. I mean, how many of us jumped off couches with towels wrapped in our back, trying to be Superman, and hit the floor kind of hard until we learned.
I went off stairs. I went off like flights of stairs with like a blanket. I didn't use towels. I had like a red blanket that I was like, bitch. At like 2 years old, I'm flying down the stairs.
I'm Superman, yeah. So Herbie was created because they couldn't use him they couldn't use Johnny in the comics because of a rights issue way back when.
In the comics or in the cartoon?
In the cartoon, yeah. So they created Herbie for the cartoon to replace Johnny because they had, instead of doing something like having She-Hulk or
exactly.
Well, She-Hulk probably didn't even exist back then.
Yeah, she wasn't there yet. She wasn't in the FF yet.
So see now this is the thing, like bringing Kirby on kind of reminds me of how fucking James Gunn is now bringing back these two characters for the Superman movie that was created strictly for the fucking movie. Like, these characters never been in the comic book, never been in nothing. You know what I'm saying? Miss whatever the fuck her name is, and Otis
Tessmacher. And Otis.
Yeah, her. Yeah. So Kirby. See, this is the same shit with Kirby, man. It's like, okay, this guy was, he made for cartoon, but now we about to put him in real life, like, and put him in a real movie, like if he was actually something when he was never nothing. He never even showed up in the comic book. Not even he showed up in the comic book, but on the back of the comic book where he said, "Hey, Saturday morning we're gonna have Fantastic Four with Kirby and then Godzilla and blah 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 for the Saturday morning cartoons." Yeah, I remember seeing him on either in a spread or something like that in the comic book, but that was to advertise the cartoon.
They did add him into the comic eventually. I think like
Yeah.
during the burn run, he was in the comic some. Now he wasn't a big part of it like he was in the cartoon. He'd pop up every once in a while. And
So I've got a question, because I know you guys have read more Fantastic Four than I have. Is the suit and tie normal, or is it just the trench coat? Because everything time I've seen him in the hat and the trench coat, it's just like the trench coat and the hat. It's
He
not
couldn't
like
tie a tie with those big.
Yeah.
Now the 24 called them something else. I'm going to see them as something else, but yeah, you never can be able to unless it's a clip on. But I did like the scene a couple of seconds before with his reflection in the window. That looked through the TV. That looked really spot on.
Now, from what I recall, every time I remember, and I could be wrong too, but every time I recall seeing Ben Grimm with the hat and the trench coat, if I'm not mistaken, he had some kind of I could swear that he did have a fucking tie and collared shirt on, man.
Glasses. Always had the glasses. Yep.
Right, and he would have glasses, and and of course he would have like some some dress pants or whatever, but he'd be barefoot.
Yeah, could never fit into shoes. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So so it's like, now that I think about it, and then there's been times where, like,
did they just clothe him to keep the CG budget down? Are you serious?
Oh
yeah,
I
do it another way.
Yeah,
they did it another way 21 years ago. Don't tell me you can't do it now for cheap when they did it 20 years ago.
That was a suit. That was actually a suit that wasn't CGI. Right. That was a suit that Chickless wore.
They do the damn suit.
Yeah. So, but what? But even artists have done that too. Like Byrne had Ben in the that onesie, black onesie for a long time. So a lot of artists would put him with clothes. Like we had the wrestling outfit, just because it's easier to draw. He's got all those damn lines on his his like that's why the cartoons.
Yeah, and I think to be honest, Loki's right. When I saw him in the suit, I mean in the blue suit, like not that shit, but I'm saying like in his regular Fantastic Four suit, it made me think. Yeah, I was thinking like in that Fantastic Four suit, that all blue suit, that blue and white suit they're all wearing. I was thinking to myself, I said, because you think about it, the first pictures you saw of Ben Grimm was them putting, his head on. They had it to where it was actual a suit where they made I guess it was a plastic copy of the mask or whatever, and they put it on top of the actor. And that's the first pictures you saw of, was the makeup team or whoever the fuck was putting the suit on the dude, on whoever the fuck the actor is. And so now that he's probably in the suit, they're probably working CGI around it, but it's like what do you really have to do if all you have to do is fuck with his fingers and his face? Like his suit could be on him doing whatever he's doing, like motion wise, because it's a real suit. But I think they cut down the cost. That's the reason why they don't want to fucking put out the Hulk. They say the Marvel's too broke to fucking put out the Hulk because the CGI would run it through the roof. They'd run the budget through the roof. So
how do you make like 5 Avenger movies with the Hulk in it if you can't afford the CGI to make the damn Hulk?
They've lost a lot of money.
Right. Claude in the back. It's Claude in the guest room. He just said
yes, he is. Thank you very
Claude.
much, because it didn't ding for me again. What is up, Claude?
I don't ding for anybody. But
Well, it's
I
supposed to let me know when someone comes in the back. When someone
Yeah.
comes in the green room, it's supposed to ding and let me know.
can I just throw something out there?
Yeah.
My Mark was telling you how long I knew Mike, and at some point it became like a marriage. Uh, because a friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, called me one day and said, "Hey, how you and Mike doing?" I said, "Dave, we're not married." But the I my first exposure to Fantastic Four was that Saturday morning cartoon, the ABC one
Right.
by DePatie Freeling, and I liked it when I was a kid. I liked it. I have copies of it now, and
Yeah, me too.
when
I own
I saw the Roger Corman movie on VHS in a dealer's in a con in a dealer's room, and I said, "Hey, you want to watch this?" He goes, "Well, I can't say what he said, but it boiled down to no." And I said, "Oh, I'm interested." So I bought it. I gave a guy like $20, and then right next to it was like that was that freaking Justice League movie with David
Oh
Ogden Stiers,
yeah.
and
yeah.
he said. I said, "Well, how much is this one?" That guy goes, $20. And I looked at him as seriously as I could make my face. I said, "How do you sleep at night?" Uh, because I had only heard about that one, and I have seen
Right.
scenes from it since then. It was crap. But the Fantastic Four movie was made just to keep some producers'
Right.
option alive.
Right.
And apparently, Roger Corman, depending on who you talk to, he made it for in between $50,000 and $2 million. Nobody will give me a straight answer on that. But knowing that it's Roger Corman, and he can turn out a movie really fast. Think about the special effects in that movie. The special effects was they had like a long, stretchy rag uh, for when Reed was reaching out for something, and it's very obvious that they weren't going to spend any money on. Hey, Reed, grab that thing that's like 100 feet over there, and then, okay, get a roll of toilet paper, and just put the camera on one end of it and follow it. Sue, I guess Sue was the easiest thing because hey, Sue, what's happening? Oh, where'd Sue go? Oh, the actress took the day off that day. Um, Johnny, his hand would catch fire and he'd go, my hand's on fire. But that was it as far as them. But I think the thing costume took up a lot of their budget, and for the time, it was not bad until you saw the back of it. I think it was at Starlog magazine where the guy stepped. There's two guys playing the thing. I mean, not at the same time,
Yeah.
but there was an actor, and then there was another like big dude to fit inside the costume. I don't know if they did.
What was the other way? Wasn't it the actor was really tall and then the guy that played Ben was shorter? Whatever it
Okay.
was, their height changed, right?
Yeah.
The thing about it is, I'm looking at their pictures right now, and it says Carl Chiarfalio, Ben Grimm, and the other one is Michael Bailey Smith, Ben Grimm. Michael Bailey Smith in his picture looks like freaking Ben Grimm without makeup. But when they put that costume on him, I was thinking, oh, at least they're going to try something. And
Yep.
it was not legal to buy. So I did not legally buy it. But when I saw that the villain in that movie was called the Jeweler and not Mole Man, and I told Mike about it, he goes, well, he said other words that I can't say. And, you
Yeah.
keep your, what do you call it, your accreditation or whatever it is that YouTube does for you. And he said words about that, and I didn't disagree with him because it was a stupid idea. Jeweler. Okay, what does a jeweler do? I don't know, he's looking for a diamond. What about the mole man? Oh, he had his mole people underneath the ground. He was going to try to take over New York City and almost did, if not for the Fantastic Four. Now, the story is right there. The story just said, make a movie or make a TV show out of me. It's going to be easy. But no, they had to screw it up. Anyway, I said that to say this. I had always been on the lookout for a good Fantastic Four movie. Same as Black Panther. I don't think we got a good Black Panther movie at all, ever. But when the Fantastic Four movie with Michael Chiklis and all those other guys, Alex Hyde White and Rebecca Staub, and what's that boy's name? He was in a movie called The Boy Who Could Fly. Little
Jay
blonde haired.
Underwood?
Yeah,
Jay
Jay
Underwood?
Underwood. And
He was in the Corman one.
well,
He was Corman,
yeah, but yeah. Well, who cares now? But the thing about that is, I really wanted a good Fantastic Four movie, and when they said here is it's gonna be like $20 million or whatever it was for the first one, and I watched it, and it's like I'm in there. I think we went to see it together because we both really wanted to see a good Fantastic Four movie, and then we found out, Sue works for Victor Von Doom. Really?
Oh, Jessica Alba, yeah, the Jessica
And they're
Alba.
and they're going up in a space station that Victor already has up there. Well, you think if Victor had a space station up there, he'd already know about those rays that were going to come in and give him powers, but he didn't. And it was all for spectacle. None of it really meant anything. But to me,
That was the horrible Ultimates. I'm sure you didn't read
Yeah.
the Ultimate FF. That was the Ultimate FF origin.
to
which sucked.
me, they were going in a direction that I kind of liked, and part of it, the Ben and Johnny dynamic was so good between those two actors, and it it didn't carry the whole movie. And by the time they got to the second one, they said, "Oh, they're making up for it. They're going to have the Silver Surfer and Galactus." So what do? Fanboy me, I go buy the book. Fantastic Four by Peter David. I thought, well, Peter David knows the Fantastic Four. Yeah, this should be really good. Well, it opens up with this space cloud flying through outer space, and it's going to go eat planets. And the space cloud's name was, get this, Gah, G-A-H,
Yeah.
Lac, L-A-C, Tus, T-U-S. It was 3 words separate, Galactus. They never said it in the movie, but it was like Peter David was going, this is going to suck. Here,
That's the Ultimates,
fanboys,
too. That's the
here's
Ultimates,
your
right?
clue that this movie is going to suck. Now, I did like Chris Evans. I didn't really care too much for Alex Hyde White. Jessica Alba, well, she's a coin toss. You know, are you gonna like Jessica Alba? Or are you gonna be gay? What's the deal? So, she was in it. She got naked, and it helped them get a
Invisible, though.
PG-13, I think. Yeah, no, she did not all the time, but like for a split second
Oh,
when she
because you kept pausing it. You told me, to find.
yeah.
One
You
frame.
have to because it's the law.
Does
But
anyone know how
ju-
to say Ian Griffod? Is that how do you say his name?
Well,
Mr.
look,
Fantastic?
I'll tell you
Grufford,
how
how do you say his name? It's like
Stan Lee
Mjolnir.
pronounced it Johann Grufford. And
Yeah.
Johann?
he said Johann Griffith, but he pronounced it one time Johann Gruffud, and then he was on a TV series called Forever, which, it might as well have been Quantum Leap or Murder, She Wrote. It was one of those formula shows.
Yeah, the guy lived forever. Yeah, like
Yeah,
a
and he'd
Highlander.
wake up, when somebody killed him, he'd wake up in the water, which sounds like a wet dream. I know how that goes. But when Fant Forstick came around, guess where they filmed it?
New Orleans,
They filmed it in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge.
And the director, Josh Trank, he was like a one-hit wonder. He did that movie Chronicle, which was supposed to be a found footage movie. Well, what the big problem with Fant Forstick was the director, and this is from people that worked on it. Director would show up drunk hungover and drunk every day. They rented a house for him. He pretty much destroyed it, like he was a one-man Rolling Stone, or name any rock star that you think would trash a hotel room. This guy trashed a whole house, and he got fired. And somebody else, a producer or some AD or something, went in and did reshoots. And it's very easy to tell the reshoots because the girl who played Sue Storm had 2 different hair colors. And I think at some point, Michael B. Jordan just looked like he stopped caring. I mean, he already knows he's going to get crap for being a black Johnny Storm, which there's really no reason for that other than, political correctness. And he probably even knew that. But he was a young actor. He'd been acting since he was like 12. But he does this, and it's not, none of that is his fault. I hated the guy who played Reed Richards until I saw him in Top Gun Maverick, and I thought, this guy's okay. In this, but he was a terrible Reed Richards, and their scientific explanations they gave for everything was annoying. You can't just have a movie. You can't just have characters with power. So, and I said all that to say this. I was at a party at my friend Scott Ennis's house for his son's birthday. And there were two people there, and I heard him say, "You ought to talk to Claude. He knows all about the Fantastic Four." And I think, what? And it was two people who were production assistants on that movie. And I didn't talk to him for a whole long time. I was trying to avoid it because I had read these warnings about, don't expect the Fantastic Four in this Fantastic Four movie. And I said, how come it is that you guys had like 50 years of continuity story-wise, but you used this story? And they looked at each other like I was speaking Portuguese. What does he mean, 50 years of continuity? They had no freaking clue who the Fantastic Four were. They probably thought Josh Trank thought it up.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering. I think you remember you telling that story.
It was, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know if it was embarrassing for them, but it was disheartening for me. And when I told Mike about it, he did say something that I could repeat. He said, God.
Yeah, the ultimate clobby grumble.
Oh, I have clobby grumbles, but they usually have letters that start with M and F in it. And I can't imitate him without doing that. Like, hey, what'd you think of Wolverine versus Deadpool? And there's a whole bunch of us sitting there watching Wolverine versus Deadpool together. And after it was over, what do you think Mike would have thought? And like, God knows we should have crap about fucking Wolverine.
Nobody likes Gambit. Why did they bring Gambit back?
Look, he got pissed off at me because I said I like Gambit. Now,
oh, yeah,
I didn't like. I'm not talking because he died before this movie came out, but he just always hated Gambit. And then when Wolverine Origins, X-Men Origins Wolverine came out, and he saw that dude, he said, "That's not Gambit. That's not fucking Gambit. It's like,
that's not fucking Gambit.
He's a lame ass character anyway. What the fuck you got? Why did they meet in here? Where's Rogue? I mean, why aren't they just doing that?"
But he did look good in the Wolverine movie. They did make him into a cool character, I thought. But I wonder.
Yeah, well, yeah.
At least it was authentic. It felt authentic.
And he didn't have that dopey freaking Cajun accent. And if you grew up around here, you know a dopey Cajun accent when you hear one. What's his name? Magic Mike must have heard he must have watched that Armando Sante movie, Belisaire the Cajun, where they talk like this. Yeah, I'm going to town to get a chicken meat. Really? What? Can you translate
You
that?
don't talk like that down there? No.
Yeah, I tried to tell a girl. I was in Worcester, Massachusetts one time, and the girl unfortunately told me that was interesting when I told her I was from, and you don't ever have to hear it again. But Mike would look at this thing. He would have called him. He would have called him when I called him. That's probably why I did. They're pajamas.
Yeah, onesies. Yeah, that's what that's what I thought. As soon as I saw Ben in that outfit, I was like, "Y'all put him in a onesie."
When Nightwing first showed up with his outfit in Teen Titans, Robert Greenberger came over here to a con. Mike goes up to him and says, when are y'all going to get Robin out of that stupid blue negligee?
Oh,
nice.
Look, he had an editor in his brain. Unfortunately, it was most of the time it was shut off. Now, Mike was not, I don't know how many of y'all knew this, Mike was not a drinker. He never took a drink in his life, so I had to do that for him. But getting drunk would not have helped me like Fant Four Stick. When I saw it, I saw it at Best Buy for DVD, and it was like $14.99. And I come home, I look on Facebook. Somebody had put a fake tab up there, and it said It said Fantastic Four, and it, price free. Just get this shit out of my store.
Do you think this is a? They're on what's the TV? With the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan. It looks like the Ed Sullivan set to me from when the Beatles were first on. I wonder if they're on TV with this set here, the Ed Sullivan show. That's my guess. But
The
they
bad
have the
thing.
white. Though. They do have the white. They didn't go with the black because I know Mike hated the black on the FF costumes.
The bad thing you do when you're trying to recapture some nostalgia is there's a lot of people still alive that remember. I mean, I never got it, but the first time I ever saw George Carlin was on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I thought it was like George Carlin would come out because he was on there a couple of times, and he had a suit and tie, short hair, no beard, and he would talk about being in the Air Force and being on radio in the Air Force. And he was clean, he was funny, but I didn't. I know the Ed Sullivan Show, all right. I did not know the name George Carlin even after I'd seen him. But George Carlin, Rodney Dangerfield,
Oh yeah.
Richard Pryor were all on there when they were young. And Rodney Dangerfield was never young, but younger. But
I don't know. I really don't know why they care about it. Like, I mean, why care about it being a period piece? Why care about like this graphic we've got pulled up here? The Fantastic Four. Why care about any of that? Make it look older, make it look retro, give it that look. You're not going to respect
yeah,
the actual content in the movie.
a big drawback for me, and I know for Mike, would be the costumes. They're powder blue, I guess, and white. There's too much white in it. They're supposed to have the four inside of the white thing. It's supposed to be on their chest. Even Roger Corman put it like in the middle
Yep.
of their chest. Rebecca Staub had it on her belly, and of course, the thing didn't have one. But going back to what you said about the coat and the hat, he had the shorts on underneath it, the unstable molecule shorts before they had a name for it. But he had a big trench coat and he had a big hat that was supposed to pull down over his eyes. And when they got the call the first time, when they shot Johnny or somebody Reed shot a four into the sky, a four flare up into the sky.
Yep.
And they saw it, and Ben saw it, and he says something like it's the call. I must go. And he goes to go out the door, and he can't fit out the door, and it's like crumbling around him. And what does Ben say? Bah. He said bah like that. I will give Stan Lee credit for that much writing. Bah. And Sue was looking at clothes, and then she disappeared. And some money floats down on the counter, and Johnny was working on a car when they saw the thing. He said, "Hey, remember I told you there's only one thing I like more than working on cars?" And he turns into the Human Torch and melts the engine on the car.
Yeah, it melts the car, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They can't. I mean, couldn't they do that? Would it be like a sight gag or something? They could do that. It would be a way to introduce them, like they did in a comic book. And honestly, I can't let this opportunity go by without saying this. Stan Lee said his uncle Martin, whatever his name, Goodman, was golfing with the publisher of DC, and he came up with the idea for a superhero group by that because they had the Justice League. All right, your answer should have been, "I'm going to go do the Avengers." No, but what he said was, "I came up with these characters that were a family." And that's total BS because Jack Kirby and a guy named Dave Wood and an artist, an inker you've probably heard of named Wally Wood, had already created these characters, and it was called Challengers of the Unknown
Yeah.
for DC Comics. And I would do this. Rocky was Ben Grimm, but he was a prize fighter. Google that if you don't know what it is. Red was a guy. He was this guy with red hair. Ace.
Fiery.
What?
He was a
Yeah,
fiery
yeah.
fiery personality. Yeah.
And Sue was a guy named Ace, and Prof. Haley was the analog to Reed Richards. He's basically the same character. And those characters ran for a little while. They didn't run nearly as long as Fantastic Four. It was an early, like late 50s, early 60s comic book, and I think it's probably out there in trade. Oh, I know it is because remember when they had the Kirby's 100th anniversary trades? They did those what do you call it? Blacklight covers with the Commandy and Demon and all those for like $20. They did one of the Challenge of the Unknown, and if you open that book, you flip through it. They went up, not in a rocket, they went up in a plane and it crashed and they all got out alive without a scratch. And they thought of it as they should have died. Thought of it, we're living on borrowed time, so let's become adventurers. So that was their origin. Kind of the same as Fantastic Four, with one of the creators of Fantastic Four. And then Stan Lee comes along and says, I had this idea. True believer. Face front, frantic one. I would say if Stan Lee had just gone ahead and said, we got all these great creators, this is fantastic, I'm a genius for bringing all these creators together, I think Mike would have had a better opinion of him. But Mike, oh my God, don't start him talking about Stan Lee. Because we walked by Stan Lee's table in New Orleans. He's got a friend, Mark, that Mark D met. And Mark D goes, he said, Jack Kirby created everything as we're walking by. And I can't think of anything. I said, Stan Lee sucks. Sorry. That was Mike. And Mike goes, where's Jack Kirby's Presents?
Yep.
Because, everything that was Marvel for a long time said Stan Lee Presents. And some people even started calling him Mr. Presents. I know Mike did. But when Jack Kirby created something, and then we kind of got in on the drama at Dallas Fantasy Fair in, like, I don't know, 86 or something like that, Mike, I keep telling people, I told Mike all the time, you're more famous than you know. I'm not famous. Yes, you are. There's people in Australia that know your name. There's people in Argentina, people in Brazil call your show. People in England call your show. There's other people that like go to your Facebook or your Twitter page and they interact with you. So, yeah, you do kind of have an influence. But it's like, but whenever somebody said something nice about Stan Lee, he called it. He had an award called the Ball Kick Award. Like if somebody deserved getting kicked in the balls, it was Stan Lee, because he took credit for Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby and some other people. And then later, he said something really stupid. He said, I gave this idea to Jack, and Jack turns in all these pages, and on one of these pages was a guy flying around and it looked like a surfboard, and Jack explained, Galactus is not going to go out on his own. He's going to send a herald around to do that because he's a big godlike character. And Stan Lee goes, wow, that was a good idea. I think I'll tell people I did it. But he didn't say that at the time, but later in a magazine interview, he said when he came up with the idea for the Silver Surfer, that kind of stopped me. You know how you got to call people and tell them, hey, did you get this magazine? I brought the magazine to his house and said, look at this. And, you could tell he's reading it. He said, I won't fucking read it. So he gets to that part and he goes, what? Because Stan Lee had said in this article, I came up with this character and I said, I bet old Jackson can't draw this. Ha, 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 knowing that old Jackson could draw anything.
Didn't he have to retract that eventually?
He did. I don't think it was an official retraction, but there was a book about Tales of the Silver Surfer. It was a trade paperback, and I got it and opened it up, and it's like, oh, he completely forgot that he took over credit of the Silver Surfer. He gave it back to Jack Kirby. Because this wasn't a magazine. This was a book that was going to be around for a long time. And Mike called him I called him the Cosmic Crybaby. I was never the biggest fan of the Silver Surfer. I understood his utility for stories, uh, but there's only so much you can do with Galactus. I mean, Galactus, super god. What are you going to do? We're going to try to outsmart God.
Well, that's
Okay.
why it was there for 3 issues and out.
Yeah, and that was
Beginning,
enough.
right? Yeah, that was it. Yep.
He never had to show up again. You know who to me who was more interesting in that book than anybody was the Watcher. Because the tales of the Watcher were so interesting, they almost had nothing to do with superheroics. There was one about this master surgeon who had his face was deformed. It kind of made him look like a monkey. He had big ears and kind of a snout, and he would ask a girl out, and she would laugh at him. And one day, this doctor, like he was like the top of his field. This doctor gets caught in a cave in, and he falls down into the earth. And this is not the mole man now, but he met a race of people underground, and they were all blind. They couldn't see his face, and he gets on some kind of communicator, and he tells people back home. He said, "No, no need to look for me anymore. I've found heaven." Now that was the Gene Colan Silver Surfer, I think, and I think it might have been Gary Friedrich or Roy Thomas might have written that story. But back to the big subject, I think he would have given this movie a chance just for what he called bitchin' rights. Well, that's
I
what we
know he
did
didn't
with
like the female surfer though. God,
No, he has
Yeah.
already expressed his views on a female Silver Surfer. Shala, no balls.
but yeah, just there's a few things that get right with this. I mean, the car looks cool, but we got to see
Car
more,
looks
more of the
great.
plot.
The
We got to
rocket
see
ship
more of the
looks good.
plot, more of the plot, and what they're doing. I mean, if you, I don't know why they shouldn't have Galactus right from the start either. You would hope that they
No,
would have
no.
waited for Galactus and established the team. You could do a Doctor Doom story or do well. No, I can't do a Namor now because Namor's been ruined unless they totally ignore that version of
Well,
Namor.
the problem with Namor was they had to translate a 1940s comic book character to the 1960s, and all that happened was like Johnny was off somewhere. Just he left the Baxter building and he was going out on his own, and he was staying at like a homeless shelter. I guess back then it was the Y, and some guys were picking on this old bearded guy with a green overcoat
Yep.
on, and they were slapping him around. And he just moves one hand back and knocks them all across the room. And Johnny goes, "Wait, that guy's really strong. I can go and find out something about him." And he goes over and he looks at him, and he thinks he looks familiar. And he just happened to be reading a Submariner comic at the time, so he uses his finger
Yeah,
to
cuts his
burn
beard
the
off.
hair, the beard, and the hair, and he shapes the hair on top of his head. He didn't burn his ears or anything like that. And then, I didn't he flew him out over the river. What's the New York River up there? Hudson.
Hudson
All
probably.
right, he
Yeah.
flies and he drops him. And he's down under the water and he's looking around. He remembers being under the water. And he remembers being a king. And he goes swimming back to his kingdom and it's all destroyed. And he comes back. He walks up out of the water menacingly. And he yells at Johnny. He's going to have his revenge on every surface dweller now. And then, of course, it took him getting horny over Sue Storm to end that story. And they tried to make Sue Storm and Namor a deal for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
Even in what was it? It was called Life Story, where Reed and Sue split up, and Sue ended up with Namor, and I think they even had kids or something. It was like that.
Yeah,
I
they
think it
did
was
the Jay Lee story. They did an arc with Jay Lee years ago too, with them together as like young kids or something. It was a weird setup where they knew each other before the Fantastic Four.
When somebody who had nothing to do with the origin of the story latches onto it, they better have a Mike Alonso there with them to tell them when they're doing something wrong or stupid.
So, gentlemen, final thoughts. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. They haven't convinced me to go and pay to see this in the theater. So if that changes as we see more stuff coming up, that's just where I'm at right now. Is wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't like the way Ben Grimm looks. I don't like the fact that they kept him in that damn onesie. They should have just do a suit or you CGI him. Don't be cheap. That feels cheap. I like the aesthetic, I like the way things look, but I've got to see more, and I want to see what Reed looks like when he stretches, and I want to see what the Silver Surfer looks like. If the Silver Surfer looks exactly like the voice actress, I will be very disappointed. Why? Because she is not like Sydney Sweeney. It's the opposite. She looks like she looks like she got hit by the ugly stick.
Well, my authority of that says no. Having Silver Surfer being a female was a nod to inclusion that, as I may have told some of you before, Hollywood is always at least 3 years behind the fads. When Saturday Night Fever hit theaters, disco was already dead. But somebody thought, hey, disco, let's do this. And this thing, why do you need to change the gender of a character? It has nothing to do with the story.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. There's no reason to gender swap. It's little dumb things like that.
I'm sorry I talk so much but might have
you're good.
people out, but
No, it's great to have you here.
Yeah.
I keep telling people I'm going to jump in and we're going to tell all the Mike stories, and it's been like 8 months. I still can't do it.
Well, you're always welcome. You're always welcome.
I always listen. I mean, I know you probably don't see it in the morning, but I tune in the morning, and you hollered my name out this morning too. So usually I just let you know I'm there by just dropping in word. Because I'm from the 70s, man.
Mark, what do you think?
I mean, half glass full instead of half empty. I think there's some promising things to it. I like the 60s retro setting, and I know Mike did say that he did like that idea of putting it back in the 60s. They're getting Ben closer to what he should look like, as Mars is saying there. But yeah, they got to fix his voice. You got to gravel up his voice, and that's easy to fix in post. Pedro Pascal, we're stuck with him as Reed. Haven't really seen him. I mean, this is just the teaser trailer, so you don't get to see much. But he doesn't look right away. He takes you out of it. Vanessa Kirby is fine as Sue.
Too bad Chuck McCann's dead.
Who's that?
Chuck McCann was the voice of the Thing on the cartoon.
Oh yeah. So you could just today with AI, you can, I can go into, I do that for my videos. You can affect the audio. I mean, just in Premiere, you can like deepen the voice or do things in post today where they could take his voice at least and make it like a transformation, because he wouldn't have the same voice if you turned into a pile of rocks.
Well, James Earl Jones sold the rights to his voice. Like right before he died. I mean, I'm not saying get James Earl Jones to do the voice, but man, can you imagine that?
Yeah, well, you could do Dr. Doom. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Like John Rhys Davies doing Thor.
Yeah. The kid doing the Torch, haven't seen much. He was great in Stranger Things. He played Eddie in Stranger Things.
Oh, that was Eddie? Holy crap.
That's Eddie from Stranger Things, but he had, you don't recognize him with the short hair. So
yeah, with no hair.
He was also just in Gladiator 2.
He was in Gladiator 2.
He's one of the Caesars in Gladiator 2.
That's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to see another trick. Of course, I'm going to go see this movie, right? I mean, I didn't want to go see Fan Four Stick, and that was one of the few movies I actually almost started to walk out of the movie theater. It was so bad. I'm like, I'm going to leave. Like, I paid for this shit. Like,
I didn't even
go there
walk
and
in.
see it, but
I'll
give it a chance.
I saw Reg Cathy while they were filming that movie. He was in Barnes and Noble, and I wanted to say something to him. I said, "No, last thing he probably wants is some goof walking over to him and say, 'Hey, you were great in the mask. Remember that 3 seconds that you were on the mask and you got killed and took a drag off that guy's cigarette and died?'"
I don't
That's
remember that one.
that's that was the mask. It was a Jim Carrey movie.
Oh, Matt. Yeah, yep.
Classic. What do you think?
Well, I'm kind of like you with wait and see attitude. Again, like he said, this is a teaser. It's kind of like my attitude towards this is kind of the same as Superman. I'm just kind of wait for a full trailer before I really make a firm opinion of the movie.
24.
Yeah.
You gonna go see this?
That pretty much told it all right there.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'd watch it just to see what the hell is gonna. At the end, what the fuck is Doctor Doom gonna come in and then mix in with the Avengers? What the fuck, man? Like,
Well, okay. So the rumor right now, 24, is that once they take care of Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, Reed is supposed to become Doctor Doom, and She-Hulk will take the 4th spot in the Fantastic Four, and then Sue Storm will be in charge of it. If
Now,
that rumor is true.
Is Robert Downey Jr. actually Doctor Doom, or is he Doctor Doom from a crazy universe where like Iron Man became Doctor Doom?
That's what we don't know yet. That's one of the questions of we don't know yet.
Because he's no Doctor Doom for me. I mean,
No, he doesn't look.
No.
It's just Doctor Doom is not snarky. I mean, and Robert Downey Jr. exudes snarkiness. I mean,
Is the old man with long white hair and a beard? Is that supposed to be Franklin Storm? Sue's
I think
dad?
that's no, or I thought that might be Red Ghost. You know, the guy with the apes,
Yeah, but
Soviet guy, right?
he doesn't even look. He doesn't even look Russian. And there is a Russian look.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. He'd make more of a Reed than a Doctor Doom to me. I mean, if he toned back the snarkiness, he looks a little bit like, could look a little bit like Reed.
I think Downey is too ingrained in everybody's memory as Tony Stark. He is typecast. It's one of those things actors hate. You're gonna look at him and say, look, it's Tony Stark, and why is he ruling over Latveria? What are Doombots? I thought he had Iron Man robots. I've read too many comic books.
I can see the appeal. I mean, if I'd played Iron Man like he played Iron Man, and they came back and they were like, "Hey, we want you to come back," immediately I'd be like, "No, I'm done." But if they were like, "Well, this is something new," you get to kind of play a little bit of the role you used to, but the character is going to be evil and deceitful, and this is, totalitarian, and I'd have fun with that. I mean, I would come back and have an absolute balls to the walls blast just playing a villain. I would do that. That'd be one of the only ways they could probably bring me back is, I get to be a bad guy this time? Okay, I'll see how that works.
He would have to wear the armored face mask all the time, though. He couldn't just take it off and walk around while Jarvis undresses him with his claws. Oh, and he did say, what was it? Was it Howard Stern that asked him, "What you're ever going to do? Is there enough money for you to play Iron Man?" And he said, "Well, if I was a football player, wouldn't you hate it if I put the jersey down and then put it back on?"
Mm-hmm.
And so whoever he was being interviewed by said, "Well, there's a price for everything."
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
They never should killed off Iron Man. Oh, that was so
Michael Jordan, the unacknowledged genius of baseball.
Most of Endgame was unnecessary and didn't need to be made.
Look, you're preaching to the choir. I said, Endgame was the worst Marvel movie with some of the best freaking scenes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The Avengers Assemble, the Cap grabbing the Mjolnir, and Falcon flying by going on your left. Man, look, I'm a big old wussy fanboy. When that happened, you hear Captain America going, Sam. And he goes, on your left. There he flies right next to Cap. Why didn't you land, asshole? But it was an emotional moment.
Yeah, and
Hey.
Cap would never abandon everyone and live in the past just to
That's
be with a.
yep.
Yeah, that was dumb. There's
Cla-
a video. There's a video of a guy he's portraying Steve Rogers kind of sitting there, his butt clenching the chair when he hears something on the radio. Ultron is taking over this country, and he's killing people. And Cap is just going, "Okay, there's nothing I can do about it." Young Cap.
What are you going to go see this, Claude?
Are you kidding? Of course I'm going to go see it. It doesn't mean I'm going to like it. I went to see Daredevil starring Ben Affleck. I'm sorry. I put that in there. That was a tribute to Mike. He never called him Affleck.
I did the same thing. I saw Daredevil. Daredevil's always been one of my favorites. Him and Punisher and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That whole dynamic, I absolutely love that.
Hey,
I
look,
took
if
my
you
wife
ever
to see Daredevil for Valentine's Day. That didn't go so well.
look, if you ever find yourself,
was not too happy.
if you ever wake up in Baton Rouge again, everything, just let me know, and we'll go over there and watch those peaks rise.
I did like the
All right.
director's cut, though.
You got it. Yeah, on me, brother.
Well-
Definitely. I think at some point we're gonna go back to ICC Con. So if we do that, we'll go right through there. And
Well, too bad we never got to
Definitely.
do a Clobberin.
I know. And I'm glad that the last ICC Con we went to, we stopped and got to hang out.
Yeah, it meant a lot to him too.
Taking him that Kirby book, that Jack Kirby book, I was just like, he's gonna love this. It was fun. It was fun meeting him. It was fun hanging out. It was fun
Yeah.
watching him just bat his eyelashes at all those beautiful
Oh yeah.
girls
And-
at Twin Peaks, and they're just like, "Oh my God, you're such a sweetheart!" Like grabbing it, it's just like he's in heaven.
I
He was in
know
heaven.
Mark is aware of this because I'm the idiot who had to call everybody and tell everybody or email them. So I'm sitting around thinking, God, who'd I miss? Oh crap, the girls from Twin Peaks. I brought them one of those programs from the memorial service, and the first girl I talked to said, "I've only been working here a few weeks." And I said, "Can you go get like somebody from America back that's been here for a while?" And she comes out. She goes, "Hi," and I held up the picture, the side that had Mike's picture on it,
Yeah,
and she goes, "Oh, that's Mr. Mike." And I had to tell her because I don't know how good she was on the uptake, but I had to make somebody else cry, and I don't know if I did this to myself or if other people said, "Hey, as long as you're doing this." I called a guy and I said, "Hey, Steve, this is," and I'm telling you what. He goes, "It's not Steve, it's Charlie." I called so many damn people. Everything was a blur.
yeah. I know, bro. We are, guys, we're going to get out of here. We will be back next week. We promise we are going to get to the JLA. So we're going to do a Justice League America walkthrough next week. This just kind of took precedence this week. We will be back. If you guys want to do any of the reading, we're going to be doing JLA 195 through 197. We will show it on screen. We'll go through it. We'll get your guys' opinion, what you think about it. We thought about it while we were reading it. Let you guys know. Until then, guys, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter, and we'll see you on the next Clobberin Times Comic Book Roundtable. Y'all have a great night.
Peace.
Good night, folks.
Aloha.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe and hammer that notification bell.